Welcome to our video on electric cars. We're excited to share with you the many benefits of electric cars and why they are becoming an increasingly popular transportation option. Whether you're a seasoned electric car owner or just starting to explore your options, this video has something for everyone. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of electric cars. Electric cars, also known as electric vehicles, EVs, are vehicles that are powered by an electric motor instead of a traditional internal combustion engine. They are fueled by electricity, which is stored in a battery pack and can be replenished by plugging the car into an electric power source. One of the main benefits of electric cars is that they produce zero emissions, as they do not burn fossil fuels and do not produce any tailpipe emissions. This makes them a cleaner and more environmentally friendly transportation option compared to traditional gasoline-powered cars. In addition, electric cars can be more cost-effective to operate, as electricity is generally cheaper than gasoline and electric cars have fewer moving parts, which means they require less maintenance. Electric cars come in various forms, including battery electric vehicles, BEVs, which are powered solely by electricity, and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, PHEVs, which have both an electric motor and a traditional internal combustion engine. There are also hybrid electric vehicles, HEVs, which have both an electric motor and an internal combustion engine, but they cannot be plugged in to charge the battery and rely on the internal combustion engine to generate electricity. Overall, electric cars offer a number of benefits, including reduced emissions, lower operating costs, and the potential to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. While they may have a higher upfront cost compared to traditional cars, the long-term savings on fuel and maintenance costs can make them a more cost-effective option. The history of electric cars dates back to the mid-19th century, when electric cars were first introduced as a means of transportation. In the early 1900s, electric cars were becoming increasingly popular, particularly in cities, due to their smooth and quiet operation, ease of use, and lack of emissions. However, the widespread adoption of electric cars was short-lived, as the discovery of vast oil reserves and the development of the internal combustion engine led to the rapid expansion of the automobile industry and the decline of electric cars. In the latter half of the 20th century, electric cars saw a resurgence in popularity due to concerns about air pollution and the need for a cleaner transportation option. In the 1990s, a number of electric car models were introduced, including the GM EV1 and the Toyota RAV4 EV. However, these models faced challenges such as limited range, high cost, and a lack of infrastructure for charging, which hindered their adoption. In recent years, electric cars have experienced significant growth and mainstream acceptance. This is due in part to technological advancements that have led to the development of more advanced and efficient electric car models with longer ranges and lower costs. In addition, the increased focus on sustainability and efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions have further fueled the growth of the electric car market. Today, electric cars are widely available from a variety of manufacturers and are becoming an increasingly viable transportation option for people around the world. There are several different types of electric cars available on the market today, each with its own unique features and characteristics. Battery electric vehicles, BEVs. These are vehicles that are powered solely by an electric motor and a battery pack. They do not have a traditional internal combustion engine and do not produce any tailpipe emissions. BEVs can be charged by plugging them into an electric power source, and they have a range of up to several hundred miles on a single charge. Examples of BEVs include the Tesla Model 3 and the Nissan Leaf. Plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, PHEVs. These vehicles have both an electric motor and a traditional internal combustion engine. They can be charged by plugging them into an electric power source, and they have a range of several miles on electric power before the internal combustion engine kicks in to extend the range. PHEVs offer the convenience of being able to drive on electricity for short trips, while still having the option to use gasoline for longer trips. Examples of PHEVs include the Toyota Prius Prime and the Ford Fusion Energy. Hybrid electric vehicles, HEVs. These vehicles have both an electric motor and a traditional internal combustion engine, but they cannot be plugged in to charge the battery. Instead, the internal combustion engine is used to generate electricity, which is used to power the electric motor. HEVs are designed to use both the electric motor and the internal combustion engine to optimize fuel efficiency and reduce emissions. Examples of HEVs include the Toyota Camry Hybrid and the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. Each type of electric car has its own benefits and drawbacks, and the right choice will depend on the individual's needs and preferences. BEVs offer the longest range and produce zero emissions, but they can be more expensive to buy and may require more planning for long trips. PHEVs offer the convenience of being able to drive on electricity for short trips and the option to use gasoline for longer trips, but they may be less fuel efficient than pure electric cars. HEVs offer improved fuel efficiency compared to traditional gasoline-powered cars, but they produce emissions and cannot be plugged in to charge the battery. Charging an electric car is a simple process that involves plugging the car into an electric power source to replenish the electricity in the battery pack. There are several options for charging electric cars, including home charging. This is the most convenient option for electric car owners, as it allows them to charge their car overnight while it is parked at home. Most electric cars come with a charging cord that can be plugged into a standard household outlet, but this may not be the most efficient way to charge the car. For faster charging, electric car owners can install a dedicated home charging station, which is a wall-mounted unit that is connected to the electrical panel in the home. These charging stations are available in different sizes and power levels to suit the needs of different electric car models. Public charging. For those who need to charge their electric car while on the go, there is a growing network of public charging stations available in many cities and towns. These charging stations can be found at places such as parking garages, shopping malls, and restaurants, and they are often part of a subscription-based network. To use a public charging station, electric car owners will need a charging card or app to initiate the charging process. There are a few things to consider when charging an electric car. The charging time will depend on the size of the battery pack and the power level of the charging station. Most electric cars can be fully charged in a few hours at a high-power charging station, but it can take longer at a lower power station or a standard household outlet. It is generally more cost-effective to charge an electric car at home or at off-peak times, when electricity rates are lower. It is important to follow the manufacturer's recommendations for charging the car to ensure that the battery is not damaged and to maximize the lifespan of the battery pack. Overall, charging an electric car is a straightforward process that is becoming increasingly convenient as the charging infrastructure continues to expand. The cost of ownership for an electric car can vary depending on a number of factors, including the make and model of the car, the location, and the driving habits of the owner. However, electric cars can often be more cost-effective to own compared to traditional gasoline-powered cars due to the lower operating costs. Upfront cost. Electric cars may have a higher upfront cost compared to traditional gasoline-powered cars. This is due in part to the cost of the battery pack and the electric motor, which are more expensive than a traditional internal combustion engine. However, electric cars are becoming more affordable as the technology improves and economies of scale are achieved. In addition, many governments offer incentives and credits to encourage the adoption of electric cars, which can help offset the upfront cost. Operating costs. Electric cars have lower operating costs compared to traditional gasoline-powered cars due to the lower cost of electricity compared to gasoline. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, it is generally about 50 to 70% cheaper to operate an electric car compared to a traditional car. In addition, electric cars have fewer moving parts and require less maintenance, which can further reduce the operating costs. Overall, while electric cars may have a higher upfront cost compared to traditional cars, the long-term savings on fuel and maintenance costs can make them a more cost-effective option. It is important for potential electric car buyers to consider all the costs involved, including the upfront cost, operating costs, and any incentives or credits available, to determine which option is the most financially viable for their needs. The range of an electric car refers to the distance that it can travel on a single charge of its battery pack. The range of electric cars can vary significantly depending on a number of factors, including the size of the battery pack, the efficiency of the electric motor and other components, the driving habits of the owner, and the weather and terrain. Electric car ranges can range from around 100 miles to over 300 miles on a single charge. For example, the Tesla Model 3 has a range of up to 358 miles on a single charge, while the Nissan Leaf has a range of up to 226 miles. It is important to note that these numbers are based on laboratory testing and may not reflect real-world driving conditions. In terms of performance, electric cars are known for their smooth and quiet operation and instant torque, which can provide strong acceleration and responsive handling. Electric cars can also have a higher top speed compared to traditional gasoline-powered cars, as the electric motor is not limited by the number of gears in a transmission. Overall, the range and performance of electric cars have improved significantly in recent years, and they are becoming increasingly competitive with traditional gasoline-powered cars. However, it is important for potential electric car buyers to consider their driving needs and habits when evaluating the range and performance of different electric car models. Electric cars have come a long way in recent years and are now a viable transportation option for many people around the world. They offer a number of benefits, including reduced emissions, lower operating costs, and the potential to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. The electric car market is expected to continue to grow in the coming years, as more advanced and efficient electric car models become available and the charging infrastructure expands. In addition, governments around the world are implementing policies and incentives to encourage the adoption of electric cars in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve air quality. While there are still some challenges to be addressed, such as the upfront cost of electric cars and the limited range of some models, the future outlook for electric cars is positive. As technology continues to advance and the market matures, electric cars are likely to become an increasingly attractive transportation option for people around the world.